Hi, I'm Thomas at NerdCow. Today I would like to show you one of the case studies that we've done for a client. It was a very successful project, and I thought it'd be good to show you around how we delivered our promise. So the client is called Repositive. Repositive is this lovely company based in Cambridge, and they deal with accelerating cancer treatment research, which is obviously a very noble cause. But what they were struggling with, and the reason why they approached NerdCow for help, was that they couldn't convert anyone through their website. And it was a really pain in the neck, because website was meant to drive the revenue. So if they can't get people to contact them through the website, and in this particular scenario it was booking a demo with one of their sales team members, how can they make money? How can they actually get themselves closer to the goal of the company to actually help people discover cancer treatments? So this is how obviously this is where it all came from. This is why they approached us for help, and what I will show you today is how it all came to be, what's better in the new website versus the old website. And obviously, if at any point you have a question, then by all means drop us a line, leave a comment, leave a like, and share with people, and bring us some fame, because we need it. So let's dive in. Here we have on my screen, as you can see, the workshops that we did with the client, and the first workshop, which is the most important one, was the alignment workshop, in which we identified the problem. And obviously, if you want to fix something, you need to diagnose the problem first. So that's what we did. And the problem was that apparently the client wasn't explaining themselves very well to the reader. We obviously worked towards fixing that problem, and we eventually ended up with a prototype. And that prototype helped us validate a few ideas how we can make it happen so that people understand what Repositive does. So we proceeded with tests. We hired 5 testers who matched the target audience for Repositive, and they were scientists, researchers, different age, different backgrounds, and we went through them with something that we call Wall of Justice. And here on my screen you can see a few questions, a lot of green, a lot of red, and that sort of pointed us in the right direction, what's okay, what's not. So in the next workshops, we basically worked on patching those issues up. So we had really solid foundations. We knew what navigation works, we knew what hero banner worked, and then we simply just went ahead and fixed a little tweaks, a little problems that the user testers mentioned in the interviews. And with those iterations, we created a prototype that was really bulletproof. And obviously, because it's a prototype, not everything worked in it. It was just like a collection of images, but images which at least give us some kind of like a blueprint that we can use to actually build a full-blown website later on. Because as you know, ideating and validating early on in the process is much more cost effective than changing anything on a website later in development. So here on my screen right now, I have the 3rd version of the set prototype, and as the name suggests, we do 3 iterations so that the prototype is as bulletproof as possible. So the one you see on my screen right now is actually the final blueprint that we used to build the website that is actually live now, and I will show you in a second. So with that prototype, you can actually scroll. It's interactive. You can actually click through pages and all of that. So this was the prototype that we presented to the testers to get some feedback on. With that having set in stone and being happy with how the prototype turned out with all the tests, we proceeded to what we call the bridge, which is basically transition from the prototyping to production. We just call it a clever name. So here is the bridge that we use. Without going into detail, we do have a separate video on it if you're interested, or just call me and I'll take you through it. This is basically an exercise that helps us to prioritize the development so that we build features which are of the uttermost value to the client and to the end user first. So therefore the investment that the client makes is well spent from the get-go. And yeah, so without going into detail, we did that bridge, we planned the entire development, and we ended up with a great website, which is here. So this is the actual website. And you can see there's a lot of similarity between the prototype and the website itself. If I just flick through it quickly, you see we definitely tweaked small details like button shapes. We made it wider. We slightly changed the position of the news widget. The navigation is a bit more subtle because we during the production phase we have more time to meek with the design, you know, so we actually have time to polish it off. Whereas in prototype, the aesthetics are not as important. We want to get the functionality right, and the visual layer can come later. Perhaps an important thing to say right now is that this website is built on headless technology, which means the front end is separated from the back end. So as a result, you can browse the website as if it was a PowerPoint presentation. So if I'm just clicking links right now, you can see on my screen, it's instant. There's no loading whatsoever. It's super quick. And we really believe that this contributes greatly to the overall user experience that people have with the website, and therefore it helps the cause of converting that traffic. This was built, believe it or not, we built it in 4 weeks. So that was 2 weeks of prototyping, 2 weeks of the actual production. And the client has now reached the point where they get at least 2 conversions a week. So if you think about it, they had 0 conversions. Now they have 8 conversions a month. That's at least. That's an increment of infinite, which is, I mean, how cool it sounds. So this is definitely a great step forward, and that resulted in a glowing testimonial from the customer, which we obviously thank very much for. And yeah, so that's how we did it. And obviously, again, I realized I didn't dive into the process itself very much, because that wasn't the purpose to explain it all. We do have a separate video on it, and we do have different videos coming up to actually, you know, explain how we do it. But the bottom line is, our unique process helped Repositive to connect with the end user, to explain their offering better, and to attract actual prospects that are willing to spend money with them, and therefore help Repositive grow. It's very simple maths formula, but it really is the foundation of a healthy business and a growing business. So that's how it is. Any questions, again, let me know, and I will see you again in the future video. Unless we can invent time travel. I will see you in the future. Bye.